What's up, guys? We're back to see with some NBA action, and right away we're going to be trading for Mike Miller, a fantastic player from the Memphis Grizzlies. Basically, he was the Rookie of the Year back in 2001, so now we're going to be trading him for a bunch of scrubs, and very happily they're willing to give him up for scrubs, and that makes us very happy people. Basically, we get a good player, a fantastic 3-point shooter for a bunch of scrubs, and we even get a pick from that. And basically, you know, the Memphis Grizzlies GM seems to have a fond tendency of trading away good players for scrubs or mediocre players. And you can see that from the Paul Gasol trade, but anyway, lucky for him, Marc Gasol developed well. So, moving along, we're going to be trading the scrubs left over from that trade, Don DeCow, or however you say his name, and Terrence Kinsey, for a player that we can hopefully ship off and get a decent player in return. Basically, we're in the rebuilding stage. We're not looking to really get a star player right now. We're just looking to trade for a young player who can serve us well and maybe trade him off again. And look at this, Chris Duhon, we get him, and a first-round pick. Pick should be very helpful knowing that the Bulls aren't exactly the top team without Derrick Rose. So we're going to go ahead and trade Jarrett Jack, and of course Joakim Noah's not with the Bulls yet, so they're basically subpar right now. So Jarrett Jack, we said we may keep him, but we decided not to because I tried playing with him. He completely sucks in this game. I'm sorry to say, he can't handle, he can't pass, and we need more of a passer type. So he may be a great scorer, but we need a passing facilitator type. And who else are we looking for? Well, of course, looking for a young player who can hopefully build towards the future, and that guy is Kyle Lowry. And we may be giving a bit too much for him, but they refuse to give him up for free. So we're gonna give a second-round pick there. Of course, we just switch second-round picks. And going to the free agency, as we see this guy named Pavel Podkolzin, however you say his name, but he is 7'5", one of the true giants in the game. Yao Ming is 7'6". That means he's only 1 inch smaller than Yao Ming. Yao Ming is one of the greatest and tallest players in recent history. Well, greatest in terms of shooting, one of the best shooting big men in history, and probably of all time. But knowing that, we're going to be trading Juwan Dixon for Jose Calderon. Of course, Juwan Dixon is a player we've never actually heard of. Probably a scrub, not playing the NBA right now, so he can't be worth that much. He is worth a lot in this game, but 2K then again overrates a lot of players. So Juwan Dixon, we're trading him off, along with a pick for Jose Calderon. And they still don't want to go ahead with it, so we're going to have to give up more for Jose Calderon. And why are we giving up so much for Jose Calderon? Well, I told you I always wanted to get Ricky Rubio on our team. And you know who was Ricky Rubio before Ricky Rubio was Ricky Rubio? That's a lot of Ricky Rubios, but Jose Calderon was the original Ricky Rubio. He was the original Spanish sensation, wonder, whatever you want to call it. He's a fantastic player. Didn't really get a shot over at the Raptors, but then again they had TJ Ford, of course, didn't develop very well, but they had TJ Ford, so decided, you know what, screw Calderon. Even though he's a great player though, I think he had great numbers for a guy playing 34 minutes. With that said, we're gonna go ahead and check out if this trade's actually worth it. It's tough to decide really, because we're giving up too much value in terms of stars, but it's one of those basketball decisions that you just have to do. We're losing basically a few half stars, or actually calculating, I can't even remember how many stars I lost based on this trade, but you shouldn't be doing trades like that. You should be doing it based on the basketball players you get back and based on potential value. And I think Jose Calderon's a great player who can move us along going forward, who can distribute the ball well to the players we need to get the ball at. And look at this, Zach Randolph, Z-Bo, we're trying to trade him off, and they're offering us Lou Williams and AI. The answer, Allen Iverson. It's a trade that was very tempting for me as a huge fan of AI. However, we can't do it. We're moving forward, we're building, and as a GM or as a player of this game, we have to decide based on potential, based on what they can do for us going forward. And Zebo's not one of those guys, but so is AI. AI isn't, so we're not really gaining anything from there. And Shaq was an interesting one, Deron Williams interesting one, but we can't give up Brandon Roy. Brandon Roy is our Brandon Roy without injury. So, you know, we have to keep him. We have to see what he can truly do without injuries. Hopefully he doesn't get injured here. I'm just hoping and praying that he doesn't get injured, because that's tough if he gets injured. Just like in real life, that's going to be a huge problem. But he probably won't. You know, there aren't any career-ending injuries in 2K, not that I've seen anyway. Rasheed Wallace being offered to us and a pick, so we're not doing that yet. And Yao Ming, the Chinaman, the Ming Dynasty being offered to us. We're going to look out the other trades though. We're going to see if there's any other interesting trades. But the Yao Ming one's very tempting. They give us Manu too, Manu Ginobili, getting a bit too old though. And the Matrix Sean Marion, also getting a bit too old. Baron Davis, interesting, but we already have our point guard, Jose Calderon and Kyle Lowry, moving forward. And of course, Yao Ming, we're going to go ahead and see what we can get for him. That's too much. We ain't going to give Prisbilla up. So we're going to ask for a next pick. And we're going to go ahead and offer Prisbilla. As we know, we can't really give Prisbilla up. So they want Prizbilla, but we can't give. Prizbilla is just a way too good rebounder. We're gonna give Garabojusa. How do you ever say his name? Again, weird names in these teams. Names I've never heard of before. Probably because there's a bunch of scrubs that time over at our squad in the Blazers. No wonder they didn't make the playoffs that year. Even if Brandon Roy was ROY. Roy, actually, funny thing, Roy actually is actually the acronym for Rookie of the Year. Nice. Interesting little trivia there. Basically, he did win Rookie of the Year this year, supposedly in the real life NBA. And just checking out the Rockets, it does seem that pick will be very useful going forward. They do have Z-Bo and T-Mac, plus Dikembe Mutombo. So it may not be a high pick, but I think it's going to be at least near the lottery. Might not be a lottery pick, but I think definitely if one of them goes down, if they use one of T-Mac or Dikembe Mutombo, which is possible through injury, that'll be a huge problem for them. And just looking at our roster so far, we have a very interesting roster. Deep on both levels, on two fronts basically. We have Joel Prizbilla and a bunch of picks. Basically, we have Yao Ming being supported by Joel Prizbilla. We got Mike Miller over at the small forward. We got Brandon Roy at the shooting guard. Point guard, we got Jose Calderon in the shooting guard. We have obviously Brandon Roy. And power forward, we got LaMarcus Aldridge. Fantastic power forward. Also a rookie. We got two rookies in this team. Actually, make that three. We got Kyle Lowry as well. With that said, we have to adjust our minutes. Stephen Graham shouldn't be playing any minutes, barring any serious injuries. Hopefully we don't get any injuries. But of course, this is the place, so we better prepare for that. So of course, Kyle Lowry gonna go off the bench as the sixth man. Gonna be playing, backing up everybody. Jose Calderon, maybe playing some spots at the shooting guard, you never know. So they're gonna be playing, of course, Brandon Roy has to play a lot of minutes, and so does LaMarcus Aldridge. We're aiming for one of them to be Rookie of the Year. Hopefully this one is going to be Brandon Roy, because Brandon Roy is the truly historical Rookie of the Year for this season, so hopefully it's Brandon Roy, and he's going to be our first scoring option. We want to set that properly so Brandon Roy does get the points and stats he needs to be Rookie of the Year this year. And second, obviously, LaMarcus Aldridge, because he is also another rookie. And third, I'm not going to make it Kyle Lowry. He's not experienced enough, he's not rated high enough in this game, so we can't make it Kyle Lowry. So instead, we're going to make it default. That way we can let anybody shoot the ball, whether it be Yao, Jose, Kyle, or even Mike Miller. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna leave these blank because they're not really much of a point to them. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully see you guys in the next video. Please check out our other videos and definitely subscribe and leave a like. Hopefully tune in next week. We're gonna be having a season overview, and then we're gonna be having some actual NBA action. Anyway, in spirit of the mood of Yaming, I'm gonna be eating some Filipino noodles now. They're probably made in China, but whatever. See you guys in the next video. Bye.